Hello there, fellow grognards. It's Al here, and this is just a quick video, again, about Saturnine, because, as I said in my previous video, I really don't get it. I don't get the Saturnine box. I don't think it's a particularly good box for the Horus Heresy. I don't think it's a particularly good box for a third edition of the Horus Heresy, if it's extra people you're trying to get into it. And I don't think that it's a particularly good box if you've already got Heresy stuff, because it comes with another 30, 40 Tactical Marines. Who the hell needs those at this point? So, what I thought I would do is try and put together the Horus Heresy box that I would make. So, without further ado, let's have a look at that. One of my main problems with the Horus Heresy, as it stands at the moment, apart from any rule tweaks or anything like that it could do with, is that you don't really have the ability at the moment to play as all the different legions. We all know that 3rd edition just focused on the Imperial Fists and Sons of Horus to a ridiculous level, and all the other legions were more or less left in the cold. None more so, in my opinion, than the White Scars. When we look at the White Scars, not only did they get their Primarch last, but you still can't really play as a White Scars army, because nearly all the plastics are not those of fast attack. I know we've got jet bikes, but there's no land speeders and there's no outriders, anything like that. So the White Scars have been left in the cold. Is this partly due to GW not knowing what to do with the White Scars and they're effectively Mongolians?
Mongolian? What the hell Mongolian doing here?
Maybe GW is regretting that design. I think there's a lot of 80s and 90s decisions that GW have come to regret.
You Mongolian! Don't you break down my wall! Get out of here! You Mongolian!
Even though, personally, I think they're absolutely fine. So I don't know if it's something along those sides, but they've been left completely in the cold. So that's one of the first things that I would do with this box set. Sling out your stupid 40k bait Saturnine Dreadnought. Sling out the Saturnine Terminators that I just don't see a point for. We've got Tartarus, we've got Cataphracti. You don't need more Terminators. That's done. Done. Fine. And put in there a land speeder. A multi-part, multi-build land speeder plastic kit. That's your first thing. Boom. Done. Next, put some bikes in there. Now, we've already got the jet bikes, so you could just put 6 of those in there. And in my opinion, jet bikes are much cooler than normal bikes. But you don't have normal bikes at the moment, the Outrider squadrons. I don't see why you take those when you can take jet bikes. But if you're not going to put 6 jet bikes in there, which is an existing kit, which will bring the cost down, then put 6 Outrider bikes in there, so that you've got another fast attack element to that box. You see, we're building this towards White Scars, but any army can use these fast attack elements. That's the beauty behind it. You're not neglecting or excluding anybody by putting this stuff in there. You're giving Horus Heresy players what they've been crying out for ages. In addition, a fast attack jump pack assault squad. So 1 land speeder, 6 bikes, be it jet bikes or outriders, and then an assault squad of 10 men with jump packs. On top of that, we need a jump pack Praetor. I say Praetor, a little trivia tidbit for you. If you're going by the Latin, Praetor is actually pronounced Praetor. Bear that in mind. So a jump pack Praetor, and then you've got one side of the box done. And I don't think that's too bad. You've got a 10-man unit, 6 bikes, and a land speeder. Not massive, maybe you could chuck another land speeder on there, but that's a fairly decent fast attack option for your army. Then we have to look at the other side. I don't see a problem in keeping this as Iron Warriors, to be honest. I think White Scars versus Iron Warriors looks pretty good. Maybe the fact that white is a bit tricky to paint and won't contrast enough against the silver is why GW have gone for these 2 armies, but I don't care. This is my box, not theirs. One thing that we've been crying out for absolutely ages, GW, and for some reason you still haven't done, even though it could have been an add-on sprue, is breaches. Now I know breaches are designed for void warfare, breaching spaceships, also Zone Mortalis and that kind of thing, and I'll still never know why GW didn't bring out breaches alongside boarding actions back at the end of 9th, but GW does as GW does. Breaches are going in this box set. Nice unit of 10. Been crying out for them. We don't have them. You can only get them in resin, again, assuming they're available. And at the moment, if you want breaches, your best bet, 3D printing. In fact, your best bet if you want a load of this stuff is 3D printing. Now, some people will choose 3D printing even over having the plastics. Jesus, GW, at least give people the option. So, 10-man unit of breaches going in there. Also, I know I said this about Tactical Marines, but I would put a box of the Mark II Tactical Marines in there. I think they go great alongside the breaches, and they are a new Tactical Mark unit. And there's nothing wrong with having Tactical Mark units, I just don't necessarily want 40 of them. So a box of 20 Tactical Mark II Marines alongside the breaches. That's 30 Marines, not a bad counter. On top of that, I think we need a HQ unit. Absolutely nothing wrong with having a HQ unit in there to counter against the Jump Pack Praetor. I wouldn't put another Praetor in there. You've got 2 Praetors with the Age of Darkness box set. Now, obviously, these box sets are designed to be 2-player starter sets, but let's face it, nobody bought it and split it. We used all of it. I did. I used it for the basis of my Ultramarine army. However, the other Praetor, apart from being a crap model, off it goes. I sold it or I gave it to somebody, I can't remember. So I'm not going to put another Praetor in this box set. I don't see the point. What I'm actually going to put in there is a console of some description. So we're looking pretty good there. But you'll notice that maybe what we're missing here is some kind of centerpiece for the army. We've got some jet bikes. We've got your assault marines. We've got a land speeder. We've got the breaches, some tactical marines, and a console of some description. But what we don't have is a nice big centerpiece. And as I said, we've got rid of that Saturnine Dreadnought. Now, if GW are absolutely insistent that there must be some new bullshit made-up unit, you could put the Saturnine Dreadnought in there. It's a waste of time. I wouldn't bother. What I would put in there would be a tank, a whirlwind. So what you have here is you have a dynamic, because that's the other problem quite often with these box sets. It's the same damn thing twice. There's no real dynamic between them. In this box set that I've made up, you've got a fast attack side of the army, countering against a bulwark. You breach your shields, you block of 20 tactical marines, and an artillery tank. Be it your Arc to Bombard, which you've not seen yet, or a whirlwind, along with your console. And I think you've got a pretty decent army box there. Certainly something that to me would be far more appealing. I mean, if we just look at Saturnine, there's no real reason for having 6 Saturnine Terminators in there. Take 3 out and put something else in there instead, and even that would make it more interesting. So what we've got there is an army box that brings in a few more legions, and we're still waiting for stuff. Don't get me wrong, no destroyers, no plastic recon marines, but they can come a little bit later. While I was tempted to make this a Raven Guardy box and fill it out with kind of recon stuff alongside the fast attack, I decided against it. Let's give those White Scars some love. So we've got, as our final box and as a reminder, 1 land speeder that can build either the Javelin or the other one that I can't remember this precise moment in time, 6 bikes or jet bikes if GW want to utilise an existing kit, 10 jump pack assault marines, 1 jump pack Praetor versus 10 breacher space marines, giving us another unit that we really need, 20, which just seems to be the standard squad size for tactical marines, a whirlwind or an Arc to Bombard, and some kind of other HQ there, some kind of console or something. That way, you've got a box set that is either a good split for 2 players doing 2 very different legions, or, as we all know what really happens, you've got 1 box set for 1 player that they can pick up and add to their army and give some load of stuff that we've been crying out for quite frankly, absolutely ages. And isn't entirely opposed to buying multiple box sets. I can't necessarily see people buying multiple box sets of Saturnine. However, my mythical box, I could see people buying 2 of those to make a decent force, especially if heresy is something you're getting into. I'm sorry, Saturnine, I don't need 40 tactical marines. So, I wouldn't buy Saturnine, but I would buy this box set that I've just made up. Because, of course I would, because I made it. But it's not about me, it's about you guys. Let me know what you think about this mythical box set. Maybe suggest some names for it. GW are never going to make it. But, you know, it's been fun thinking about, and hopefully you guys like what I came up with. We'll catch you guys soon. Bye.